What's going on, guys? It's Colin here for NextGenTactics, and I'm bringing you another game of all NGT Rush. This time I'm playing with Spiderbite, Guns for Hire, and Meatwagon. And basically, since I'm playing with Spiderbite, you know the man loves to rush. And so, if I want to get any points out of this game, I'm going to have to get my ass down to the MCOM stations as soon as possible. And I actually put out a tips video for Attacking Harvest Day some time ago. If I can find it, I'll put the link in the description. But basically, I suggested that rushing right up the middle from the beginning of the match, before the defenders get set up, is one of your best bets. And I'm going to spot this medic but not shoot at him, because I want to get in here sort of undetected and arm the station. And I do. Now I'm going to head into the barn and kind of make a noob maneuver. I don't clear the balconies, and you always want to watch out because people like to hang out upstairs here. I do manage to take the medic down, but he gets me as well. Fortunately, Meatwagon has pushed up and is now defending my armed crate. I'm going to spawn in on him, and we're sitting there staring at a tank, and I don't know if it's some sort of Mexican standoff we have. I don't know if that's an offensive term or not. I hope not. But the tank driver's kind of sitting there staring at the station, not getting out. If he gets out, chances are we're going to shoot him and steal his tank. But he didn't have an angle and wasn't able to turn around and blast us in time. So Guns and Spiderbite are now in the tank, looking over the B crate, and they say push B hard, so I'm going to run over there and arm that as well. And we have a pretty good presence, so it's going to be tough for the defenders. And I'm fortunate to get both these crates armed on the first base once the defenders got it disarmed. And I think that this was like either an 8v8 game or a 9v9 game, and somebody backs out late. But the defenders were, like, you didn't see them, but as you'll find sort of later on, like on, I think, the third base, they were sort of ghosts. Like, you'd go for an MCOM station and you'd be getting shot from 3 directions. So they were doing a good job at kind of being sneaky and hiding out and defending their crates. So they weren't pushing. Oh, I think some of them maybe were pushing up. I don't know. We didn't run into them until we were trying to arm crates. So it was a fairly high-paced match. We were able to rush and push pretty hard. I'm going to get knifed here. I didn't see the guy who knifed me at all. And Meatwagon, he actually asked me, do you want to get picked up? And thought about it for a second. I said, sure. And as he revived me, a medic popped out in that window. I managed to take advantage of my revive invincibility to shoot him. And then I swapped kits with Meatwagon. I'm going to pick him up. So for the time being, I'm running medic. He's assault. And we're going to go up here and sort of rendezvous with Guns for Hire and see if we can't help him out. However, pushing this route right up the middle is kind of... it's tough, because that's a wide open field you have to come across, and even with smoke grenades, it's going to be pretty brutal. So right here, and trying to move across the field, I see that I get sniped, and this guy's still sitting back in our base. So whenever I get sniped from the base, I always want to try and take it upon myself to go get that particular sniper's tags. So let's do that, shall we? Wookie! So I stab him, and now I'm going to go help the team. Because I told them, actually, guys, I gotta hang back. I'm gonna go back to the base and take this sniper's tags. I'm gonna take the quad bike and actually push the right-hand side, which is a little bit more conservative, and, you know, try and aim for the shed at the back so that we can move around behind the enemy spawn area and support them, maybe get this armed. They have a tank up, so we have to kind of be careful. And if you take control of this area, then the defenders start spawning on the other side, although they are kind of holed up in the houses here, so they're around, they're just not readily visible, which is actually good for them, and it's going to be especially good for them on the third base, you'll see. But, you know, basically, if they're all standing out in the open and we pick them off, then we're going to have an easy time just walking right through the station. So they are kind of being sneaky, they're hiding out, and I'm going to get taken down here. And luckily, Guns is... there's going to be a really good example of his ninja abilities of staying alive inside an enemy base. I'll point it out when we get to it, but, you know, at this point, we've got the area reasonably well cleared. I got one more medic to deal with, and then I'm going to be able to arm this crate and hopefully defend it. So far, so good. And we played a number of different rounds. I had a lot of fun playing with these guys again. You know, the night prior, I had played with Guns, Bentley, and Meatwagon. We had a great time. And so we ran into a couple of situations where we weren't able to win the game, and, you know, very well organized teams against us that had their you know, they had their shit together, and we weren't able to overcome it. But, you know, we're kind of feeling out how we work together as a squad, and I have sort of flanking routes I like to run. Spiderbite has rushes he likes to do, so, you know, once we get it all synced up, I think this is going to be a really great squad to play with. well, they're already a great squad to play with. I think we're going to be able to overcome even some of the most difficult situations. So having a great time playing with these guys, and I'm trying to do my best to get lots and lots of points, because I know that Spiderbite's going to be doing that. I've seen some of his videos where you know, he's trying to get out of all the MCOM stations, so I know that it's a race with Spiderbite to get some of these bad boys armed. that's what I'm doing. And Meatwagon pushes up the tank, and I should have been a little bit more generous and offered to let Meatwagon arm the station. He's driving the tank. I'm going to hop out, arm, get back in the tank, and we are going to defend this thing from our portable armed fortress fairly successfully. I know you guys hate the teasers or you know, the spoilers, I guess you would call it, but so I just can't help it. You know, I just can't help it. So I'm going to get a couple of kills here. On the gun, we back out of a mortar strike. Station's pretty well defended. They're not going to get it now. And Spiderbite goes over to arm Alpha, but we eat some C4. So they do manage to take down the tank, but I get the station destroyed. And Guns is still in the base, but look at this. I spawn on him. I take a tank shell. I'm dead. And I figured Guns is a goner too, but somehow he manages to be invincible. So when I go back to the respawn screen, guess who's there? That's right, Guns for Hire. So, man, this dude's a spawn point. I can't wait for him to send me some of his gameplay footage to look at, because, you know, how he stays alive, I do not know. He's a patient man. And just, I'm getting shot at. I had a really, really tough time on this base. You know, spawn and die, spawn and die, spawn and die. I think most of my deaths in the game actually came as a result of this particular base. And I'm chasing this medic around. We want to try and take control of this building right in front of the objective so that we can maybe get in and get the arm. But as you can see, like, as soon as we show our faces, we're getting shot at. So that's what I was saying. Like, the defenders were staying hidden but keeping eyes on their crates. So that's a good strategy. And if you expose yourself, get your minds out of the gutter, you're an easy target for the attackers, and they can pick you off, push you back, and you're done. I thought this was a teammate on me, and apparently he was attempting to knife me, and I just turned around and, for whatever reason, I'm going to pull the trigger. Killed an enemy, so now I'm giving chase to this medic. I put a bunch of bullets in him, but he's running the USAS and takes me down, so I got turned on there. And I figure here in a little bit, I'm actually going to do something that's kind of shameful. I do equip the USAS on my engineer kit because they're wreaking havoc with these tanks in this base. So I want to take it down, and I'm not confident that any of the weapons that I can select from the other all-kits weapons or my SMGs are going to do well against a USAS in close quarters, and that's kind of what we're doing. So I decide I'm going to just fight fire with fire. I don't actually really use it all that much. We have the station armed, and I'm actually going to spot that there's a couple of defenders coming in. And as you'll see here, I get a pretty sexy double nade bank shot off the building. So that those were the two that were trying to push to disarm, took them out, and that is all she wrote. So now that's done. We still have to deal with the tank. He's still up in the back of the base. He should have really pushed it forward, and you know, I think it was probably I think it was a newer player that was driving the tank. So had he pushed up, he would have been able to maybe push us back to our deployment or something, but he doesn't. So I managed to get him with the AT4, which is something that I've been practicing with. Very effective against armored vehicles. It's just a little bit tricky to get used to, and when you're guiding the missile, you have to be looking at the target. So I like to trace things and then duck behind cover like a wimp and shoot at them from there. And you've seen me curve some RPGs and Gustavs around corners and mountains and from behind cover. Well, you can't do that with the AT4, well, unless you're really, really good. And with that particular weapon, I am not really, really good. So got taken out because I was just kind of blind rushing, but that was kind of the name of the game. Not necessarily being as careful as I would normally be, but not really worrying about it too much either, because we always had good spawn points, and it's just a function of getting in, getting the objectives armed. So at this point, actually, I don't even know if I realize at this point I'm the only one alive, so I'm just kind of ducking down, making sure we get the station, not pushing in too aggressively into the action. And once we took that station, actually, you know, the game's all but over, because the other MCOM's in a building that we can take down if we really got into a pinch. But, you know, if we can avoid rolling like that, we are going to avoid rolling like that. So we're going to cycle around here and try and get B. And the team at this point, I think, might have been down one player, the defensive team, and the sniper that I had gone back and stabbed in our base on the back on the first base there. Anyway, he was sitting back sniping as well on this one. So they're down essentially 2 players, and that's about it. So I'm going to spot him in the back and in the back of the base, take him down. But we've got a pretty good presence, and I'm pretty sure that the defenders had all but given up at this point. So, yeah, I had an awareness failure here. I only have like 3 bullets left. I don't even throw myself an ammo kit, and I find that PS3 is the worst platform for me for awareness for whatever reason. I don't know why. But luckily, this medic's a worse shot than I am. Once I realize I'm out of ammo, take him down with my handgun, and that is the end of the game. So anyway, guys, next time I'll make sure I'm equipped to do these as a live commentary, but until then, I hope you enjoyed. Cheers, we'll talk soon.
Hey guys, we now have our own website. Actually, we've always had our own website, but why not follow us on there? There you'll find all our videos conveniently sorted into playlists by game, as well as videos from many other directors that are part of our NGT network.